Hey, this is Jason Hann from EOTO at Freebird Live in Jacksonville, Florida, and you're watching HypeMag.com. It means like, in the true sense of the word, that we're just flying by the seat of our pants. We don't have anything planned out. We don't have any backing tracks. We don't drop any acapellas. Where everything you hear is being created on stage in the moment with no pre-planned ideas about anything. And so yeah, it's truly improvisational. And even it takes it a step, further. Like I'll play a lot of jazz too, and you improvise a ton in jazz, but in jazz you still have a chart that you follow that's attached to maybe some song or something that the leader of the band might call out, a chord chart, and then you sort of follow those, and those become your reference points. But with us, we really are just flying off the cuff. Oh, well, that's the easy part. We don't practice. We put so much time in before we started, thinking of it as a project, just messing around with gear. And then the first few years we were together, we would do tours like, 96 shows in 108 days. And that was more than enough practice that we need, just playing live night after night in front of people. And this is the kind of thing where you can sort of practice, in like a room somewhere. But not until you get in front of people are you really doing the thing that you do, because there's a whole nother energy when people are in the room and they're watching you and they're depending on you to keep the thing flowing and stuff. It's a whole nother animal. We're just in that frame of mind where we think of whatever we're doing in sort of song form. Like so we're playing for a while, there's the beat, there's a bass line in there, maybe there's an arpeggiated synth part or accompaniment synth parts or guitar parts, and then Travis may play a melody on top of it, or I might do a vocal line, either a rap or some chorus of something. And then we just know after a certain amount of time goes by, you try to switch to make, you call it like a B section. Like you've played, the first verse, and now you're playing like a second verse, or you're playing some kind of interlude. And we think a lot alike like that. And that's improvising song form, as opposed to just improvising a song or improvising over chord changes. So that's kind of our mentality, is to improvise in song form. It starts we're thinking a verse and a chorus, and then we think about breakdowns and build-ups, that work its way all around that. Oh, wow, I would say so. Now it's more like that. Like some people are asking, where are you playing tomorrow? Oh yeah, I know it's in Tallahassee, but what's the name of the venue? And at least right now, I don't know. I just kind of rely on my phone to have like more of the details and leave everything else open. So I have an idea of, like our schedule. I know we're out on the weekends and kind of home 3 days during the week, and stuff is coming up. But the interviews sometimes throw me off, because I'll have an interview that's not for a show for another 3 weeks, and it just gets all jumbled up. And so I would say live pretty improvisationally, seat of the pants. It's like we have the game plan that we're always aiming towards, and but just trying to deal with lots and lots of details like at all times, and doesn't become fun. So it's nice as things come up to deal with it too. Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zebler is our video guy, and he runs it, and he's changing all the things on the Lotus according to what we're doing musically. So he's flying by the seat of his pants too. And it came about when we had been touring for about a year with just like a projection screen, in back of us, and that was cool. And management had suggested to add more to production, and let's ratchet it up. And I've always been into like the projectionist, 3D, showing it on buildings. And there's something about projection mapping that does what LEDs can't do. It can really give that illusion, like a solid building is like turning into liquid or shattering or something like that. And so when we were brainstorming that, I had sort of come up with the concept of more like having almost 2 Lotuses, like me in one and Travis in another, and that was okay. But Travis took that concept and he was like, okay, well, let's both, you know, fit into one giant Lotus and have it project like that, because we always set up really close together anyways. And so he came through with that, and we went with that, and then we gave the idea for the design to this guy, Blake Courtney, out in Boston, who designs all sorts of stages and things. Just a minute, we're almost done. That's right. So he builds a lot of things out in Burning Man, and builds stages and different DJ booths at different festivals. So he was the one actually building our Lotus. And then Zebler, oh, and then we hired this team from Hungary, an animation team from Hungary who had done some stuff for like the Brooklyn Bridge, projected images, and they came up with about 70% of the content we used for a while, and then Zebler, our guy, came up with about 30% of the content. And now Zebler's got his whole team together, and they're just going off with a bunch of new content that you'll see tonight. It's really amazing. Yeah, I mean, for like someone that's, you know, that just has no clue like what we are, and to give it something simple, I just always picture us playing at like some alien disco party, you know, like whatever you might hear there is probably what we're doing. And we go through all these genres, like specifically like electro and dubstep and drum step and glitch hop, and chill down tempo music and 70s kind of funky soulful, you know, stuff. So we're sort of all over the place, but we feel like we're continually getting better and better at tying all those together and making the set an effortless flow. And so we're, you know, you just never stop dancing. You just go into the next phase until the end of the set. Oh. All right, the exact super.
Or not
definite,
exactly,
exact.
Like improvised.
Well, it stands for End of Time Observatory. That was the original meaning behind it, and the way that became EOTO was, you know, break the letters down, and it spells EOTO, and we started calling it EOTO just because it looked like that word. And then we had some Japanese fans come up and say that EOTO means good sound in Japanese, and there's some people from the Philippines speak Tagalog that says it means good love. So there's like this word EOTO out there that means these things, and it just seems, you know, that it just seemed more appropriate to go that way. So not as many people know that we're End of Time Observatories. And when we put out our first record, that was called Elephants Only Talk Occasionally. So a lot of people thought that was the name of our group. And but there was a time for a second there we were thinking about, okay, we'd name all of our albums, you know, doing some kind of word games like that. So it got out of hand, so now nobody knows what we're really called. But it, you know, it's EOTO straight up.